Welcome back to week 8, day 4, where we're graphing linear equations using a table. Corresponds with SOL 8.16b, where the students will identify the slope and y-intercept of a linear function, given a table of values, a graph, or an equation in y equals mx plus b form. Going over yesterday's homework assignment, you were to find the slope that passes through the points that are located on both of the tables for questions 6 and 7. So for the first one, we noticed that the difference in the change in y was at a value of -2, and the change in x was +6. So we know in order for us to find our slope, we have to find the change in y over the change in x. So that gave us -2/6. In order for us to find our true slope, we need to simplify. And so we can simplify 2/6 with using a common value of 2 for both of them, which gives us -1/3. So you have -2 divided by 6, which simplified gives us -1/3. For number 7, we're doing the same exact concept where the change in y equals -8 and the change in x was -5. So in writing that to indicate it, we have the slope equals -8 over -5, which when simplified, we have two negative numbers. They both become positive, so our slope is 8/5. Today's objective, I can graph a linear function in a coordinate plane given a table of values. Material needed, graph paper, pencil, ruler, Desmos graphing calculator, which can be found at the link attached to the slide. Review of this week's vocabulary: linear function, slope, positive slope, negative slope, zero slope, undefined slope, slope-intercept form of a linear equation, and y-intercept.
To graph a linear equation using a table, there are two simple steps. The first step is to plot the points. To graph a line, you only need 2 points, but you can plot as many as you like. The second step would be to connect the points with a ruler. When you plot your points, they should appear to be in a straight line, and then you just use the ruler to connect them.
Using the information that you just heard, let's now go over some independent practice problems. Here is example 1. Graph the following table on the coordinate grid. Please pause the video slide at this point, graph the following points, and resume the slideshow once you have completed the task.
Let's look at the solution to example 1. In example 1, we are told to graph this table of points on our coordinate grid. Remember, to graph, you will need a few things. You will need graph paper, obviously, and you will also need a ruler. Now, if you don't have a ruler, that's fine. You can use any type of straight edge. You can use, if you have a sticker, that's fine. If you have an envelope, that's totally fine. Any envelope is fine. Anything with a straight edge on it, that's going to give you a straight line. Because remember, we're plotting linear equations. We're not plotting it as an equation, but these are linear graphs that we're plotting. Okay, so we're going to be making straight lines. So you want to have something that's going to help you create a straight line. So the first thing I'm going to do is, when you're creating a line or plotting your points to create a linear graph, you really only need to plot 2 of the points. However, because we only have 5 points, it'll be easy for us to plot those, and that'll also help allow us to practice our plotting. You definitely want to start with plotting your y-intercept. And remember, our y-intercept is the point where x is 0. So I'm just going to write that down just as a little bit of a review. So that's our y-intercept. So I'm going to plot that first. So that says 0, -4. Remember that the y-intercept is supposed to be plotted on your y-axis. Okay? So 0, -4, and I'm using a pen so you can see, but please use a pencil. 0, -4, I'm going to start here at my center, and I'm going to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is my y-intercept. Notice I don't have any numbers on my grid. That's totally fine. I'm just going to count spaces. So I plotted 0, -4. So then I'm going to just go in order from there. -1, -6. So I'm going to start at my origin, go left 1, down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. I'm going to plot my next one. 1, negative 2. Start here. I'm going to go to 1, go down 1, 2. The next one I have here is 2, 0. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to go to 2, and then it says 0, so I'm not going to go up or down. I'm going to plot right there. And then the next point is 3, 2. So I'm going to go right 3, 1, 2, 3, and up 1, 2. Now notice before I even connect my points that you can already tell that they're in a straight line. So if you plot your points and they don't line up where you can, like you might have one here, and they're not going to line up, then you know something's gone wrong with your plotting. Okay, so check that before you try to connect them. So once I have them all plotted, I'm going to take my ruler, just line them up, and then draw my line to connect them. Now, because this is a line, I'm going to draw arrows on the end. And remember, the arrows on the end indicate that it keeps going forever in that direction.
For example, number 2, we'd ask that you graph the following table on the coordinate grid. Please pause the slideshow at this time, graph the points, resume the slideshow after you have completed the task for the explanation.
Let's look at the solution for example 3. Similar to example 2, I'm going to plot all of my points because again, I only have 5. Normally, you only need 2 points to create a line, but we want to also practice our plotting. So I'm going to start with plotting our y-intercept. And remember, the y-intercept is the point where x is 0. So this is my y-intercept right here. And remember, we've been discussing in all of our lessons that the y-intercept should be on the y-axis, or not should be, but it will be on the y-axis. So I'm going to first start by plotting that point. And the y-intercept here is 0, negative 3. So I'm going to start here at 0 and go down 1, 2, 3. From there, I'm just going to plot the remaining points. So I'm going to start with my negative 4, 1. So I'm going to go left 4, up 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1. And then I'm going to plot negative 3, 0. Left 3, 1, 2, 3. And then 0 means I don't go up or down. So I'm just going to plot right there. Now already I can kind of tell these are lined up. They look like they're in a straight line. So I know I'm going in the right direction. So now I have negative 2, negative 1. So I'm going to go left 2, down 1. And then I have negative 1, negative 2. So I'm going to go left 1, down 2, and plot. Again, I can already tell that these appear to be in a nice straight line. And so I'm going to take my ruler or your straight edge, whatever you have, it's fine. Don't do it freehand because it'll make it a little, it won't be straight. And then I'm going to draw my line here, connect them, put my arrows on the end, which means it continues going on forever because it is a line. And that is how you plot a linear graph using a table.
Next, we will have your practice and homework problems. We ask that you take a moment to plot the points that are given on the table and actually connect the points to draw a line. So take a moment to work out these practice problems in your notebook. We will go over them or what they should look like at the top of tomorrow's session. Now, please log into Dreambox. Let's locate it in your Clever account and complete at least one lesson for today. If you can do more than one, please do so. We greatly appreciate it and you love the exercise. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.